as soon as he put me on defense, I just said, there's just the content, the same thing I felt whenever I visited Michigan. I felt it on defense, and it was just magical. You can't fake that.
What's been the most difficult adjustment for you, though, this spring?
Most difficult adjustment. To be honest, I don't know if I've ever had a coach like Coach Madison coach me as hard as he has. I mean, he wants more out of me than probably anybody. So, just learning to adapt to that style of coaching, which is different than Coach Jay and coaches I had in high school. I mean, it's different. And like as Conor McGregor says about the UFC, there's no feelings in this game. It's results and it's execution, and that's what it comes down to. So Coach Madison has a job to do. I have a job to do, and just try to make the most of it.
What does he want out of you?
They told me they want everything now. Is basically how they put it. They want me to be able to blitz. They want me to be able to take on all the blocks, control the edge, mentally disciplined, and that's basically it. They said they want everything now. They don't want to wait. So and neither do I. So that's perfect.
Coach Madison said you had gained some weight. Where are you at now, and what did you do during the offseason to do that?
I weighed in at 243 on Monday. So, that's after about 2 weeks of spring ball. I weighed in at 245 for the couple weeks leading up to it, which is right where I want to be for right now. And what I did different was I ate a lot more, and my parents' credit card bill can probably vouch for that, but I ate a lot more, and I ate a lot more often, and I worked harder than I've ever worked in the weight room. The strength coaches can vouch for it, but I stayed after consistently, at least an hour and a half every day, doing jump rope, doing working arms that we didn't work, and just explosion, because I want to be the fastest and strongest and smartest guy out there, as I've already said. But
240s is still a little bit light for the defensive end spot. Is there a sort of an end goal that you want to be at?
I talked about this earlier a little bit. I imagine myself being around 250 come August and come camp, but to be honest, I haven't even really noticed that much of a difference. I think the biggest thing is explosion and speed, and when you have speed, they have to respect so much of your stuff, and when they fear that, you can kind of see it in their stance and the way they move and when watching film. So that's my biggest thing. I just want to be fast, and I want to be strong, and I want to be smart. So if 250 comes naturally and I feel that weight, then that's what I go with. But if not, then I trim it back down, and maybe next year I try to reach that goal.
What were you when you came in? What was your weight when you came in?
215.
215.
And
what are your go-to meals when you're trying to put on weight?
My go-to meals, I know this is a popular one, but my go-to meal is probably Chipotle, triple chicken maybe.
Triple?
It's a quest every time you go, because you can't not finish the burrito either. So.
And you had said last year that you had gotten through, I think, one practice in the spring, and Harbaugh approached you about moving to offense. How did this move come about?
Coach Harbaugh last year approached me about the switch, but this year, to be honest, I didn't feel like as content with playing tight end. Like I thought I was making a lot of progress. My mental game of playing tight end really was coming about. But whenever it came to, getting the reps that and it's tough. There's a lot of tight ends, and tight ends were doing really well mid-season. And I went to Coach Jay Harbaugh, try to gauge their feelings, because you don't know. That sometimes they're so busy with the season. And he said that he wasn't sure if Coach Harbaugh would agree with signing me off, and he wasn't sure either. But he decided to give it a conversation with him. He texted me that night, and he said, "It's official. You're on defense." And so it was like anything in life, whatever they throw at you, you celebrate. So I celebrated that just like I would anything else, and I was excited. So I tried to make the transition as smooth as possible and attack it.
So why defensive end as opposed to linebacker?
To be honest, Coach Madison recruited me, and I think he knows best, and he said defensive end would be the best position to get you on the field, and it's so far been totally correct. I think I've done really well. Personally for me though, I don't think I'm where I need to be. A lot of people tell me this and that. But at the end of the day, it's just what you feel in your heart and what Coach Madison feels.
You got a pretty good sized group of older guys in the defensive line, like Coach Madison.
I'm glad you asked me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, does it feel like kind of like the old guard, and you're back with Coach Madison, and it's you guys have been together for a few years now.
Right. I'm so grateful to have a group like Taco Charlton, Chris Wormley, and just Brian Monet, and just a veteran group, and Matt Godin. Everybody in that room, just like how they embrace me and they work with me. Like a lot of the stuff is, I'll face in practice is the first time I've ever done it in my life. So it's cool how they've really taken me under their wing and they've shown their leadership, which is why they're considered one of the best defensive lines in the country.